What's up, you guys? Scott here. So what a lot of you guys don't know, that when I first started out as a therapist, I had abundance blocks, I had limiting beliefs, my vibration was low, and I struggled as a business owner. So I thought in this video, I want to show you guys how I achieved all of the things I achieved over the well over a decade of being a therapist by destroying my abundance blocks, by raising my vibration and getting rid of my limiting beliefs. But hang on. Before we start, this may not be the traditional mindset, limiting belief, vibrational abundance video that you were hoping for. And what I'm about to tell you, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to really adopt any of the strategies what I'm talking about. But I want to show you exactly what I did, guys. As therapists and coaches, you probably realize that it's extremely important. Your success of the business is extremely important for you to succeed. But unfortunately, if you are like me, as you'll find out at the very first part of this video, I was stuck in the wrong type of mindset. I was stuck in the wrong assumptions about life and in business that almost made me completely broke. So in this video, guys, let me talk about my way of thinking with mindset, limiting beliefs, abundance blocks, raising your vibration, and hopefully open your eyes up to a new strategy which you can adopt for yourself. So without further ado, guys, let's go. This used to be me, guys. Let me give you an example of the way I used to think and the way I used to function as a new business owner. So remember, I've talked about this many times before. I used to be a hypnotherapist, okay? And I built my business from scratch. But unfortunately, the first year or two of my business was extremely rough. I was broke. I was poor. I wasn't getting clients. I had no idea what I was doing. But I was convinced of this one mindset thing, this abundance block thing that all these experts, all these gurus were telling me, as long as I fix the mindset, as long as I fix my abundance blocks, my limiting beliefs, I raise my vibration, everything else in my life will come together harmoniously. I'll get the clients, I'll have the money, I'll have the business, I'll be happy. And this was really the way that I used to think. I assumed that every problem in my life was due to this thing right here, which was my mindset. This deep, gnarly, unconscious abundance block that will stop me from having everything in my life. My limiting beliefs were stopping me from having everything I ever wanted. And it was all inside of me. And I literally took that for granted. I took that and assumed this about everything that was going negatively in my life. Unfortunately, this was the result. So let me give you an example of the way I used to think. It's probably not unlike the way that you guys are thinking now. So like me, I love the mindset thing. I still do to this day. And I think it's necessary. However, I think it gets blown way out of proportion where all of our focus gets put on mindset and we start to ignore all of the other things we have to do in the context of growing the business. And I'll explain more how that works. So off to the left here, this was me, the whole growth mindset. I did the courses, guys. I read the books. I followed all of the gurus. I followed all the experts. I went to the courses. I went to the live event. I hired experts to work on me as a client. I did everything you could imagine. And this was really me. It was really drilled into me that everything that was happening externally was the result of the negative internal stuff, the abundance blocks, the limiting beliefs, the vibrational stuff, all of that sort of stuff. I lived and breathed the thing. However, the results I was told I was going to get by following all of that stuff never really came to fruition. So this is the way I was thinking, the mindset thing. And this is what I assumed about everything in my life. If I want a successful business, I have to fix the abundance blocks and the limiting beliefs, raise my vibration, the think and grow rich. It all has to be in here. I have to fantasize. I have to imagine. I've got to do the meditations. I've got to do all of that stuff. And my day was just literally trying to fix what was going on in here. And this is what I was convinced. It's like I created my own limiting belief inside of the context of limiting beliefs. Weird, right? And the way I look at it now is I personally became my own limiting belief because I believed in this stuff. Now, like I said at the start, you don't have to believe me here. I'm not saying that my way is the only way of thinking, but hopefully this will start to open your eyes to what's possible in your life as well, if we just shift the way that you think as well. However, so I was convinced if I want a successful business, I have to fix the abundance blocks, the limiting beliefs and things like this. And I started to do that. I did it all, guys, for hours upon days, 7 days a week, I did it all. And sure, over time, months and months and months went by, I felt a little bit better about certain things in my life. But I was so convinced that if I fix this, my reality out here would change. I imagined the clients, I imagined the money, I imagined sitting in a nice car, the house, and did all that stuff. But I felt a little bit better doing the mindset stuff, but I had no clients, I had no money, and I had no business. What I was fixing in here was not showing up out here. So I was trying to fix in here, but nothing was happening here because I was spending all of my day in here trying to fix something that I was almost to an extent forced to believe by all of these gurus. So I felt a little bit better, but I still had no clients. I wasn't making money, had no business. And this was the worst thing I did, was what I did next. I went back and assumed again. I must, I don't have the clients, I don't have the business, I don't have the money. It must mean, it was really dangerous when I put this idea together in my head, it must mean I still have abundance blocks. So what did I do? I continued the same cycle over and over. I did more of the abundance block stuff, more of the meditation, more. Then what happened? I felt a little bit better again. Still had no clients, still had no business, still had no money. Made that assumption again. And I must have made this assumption for the first at least 1 to 2 years of my business until I realized, okay, this is no longer working. I'm getting worse. I mean, to the extent that how much more could I do? My entire day is just full of this. And if I keep doing more of the same thing that's not working, isn't that the definition of being insane? I can't just do more and more. What can I do? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of this stuff. But if 1 hour a day is not working, does that mean 2 hours a day is not going to work? No, because I did the 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. And even though I increased the mindset stuff, I increased the affirmation, I increased the action of mindset, nothing happened. All I was doing was wasting time in the context of trying to grow my business. So this used to be me. And this reflexive cycle, I was caught in this. It's like I created, like I said, that own limiting belief. Mindset, it's not working, do more mindset. Mindset, not working, do more and more and more and more. It comes to the point where there's no more that can be done. You have to start thinking differently. And this was the result. The more I did, the worse I actually got, because I was ignoring the things I actually had to do. And I'll talk about those things very soon. But this was me. I was the one telling everybody mindset, abundance, limiting beliefs, vibration. I was the one harping on about all of that stuff. But unfortunately, I was a walking contradiction, because I'm teaching everybody about the mind, the unconscious mind, limiting beliefs. I'm teaching them all of that. But if they were really to look closely at my life, they would have seen that I was broke, unhealthy, depressed, lazy, in a hell of a lot of debt, no clients, hardly a business to talk of, struggling, no control over my results, not taking action to get clients, no idea how to run a business. But I was convinced mindset was the key to why I wasn't successful. And I was the first person to tell everybody that if you want to change your life, it's all about mindset. But I was the one struggling. And I would even go to the extent of telling people who were super successful, which were my clients, that it's all mindset. But I had to take a real close look at myself and think, hang on, I'm talking about all of this stuff, which sounds great. The concept sounds fantastic, but there's no results that they can see. I'm telling everybody mindset, limiting beliefs, abundance blocks, all that stuff. But when I look at my life, I was struggling worse than they were. So here I am telling people how to live their life, but my life's an absolute mess. I'm struggling to pay my bills. I'm nearly getting kicked out of my apartment. I can remember buying groceries with just coins that I found in my pocket because that's all I could afford. But if someone asked me about the unconscious mind or how to be successful in life, I tell them it's mindset, limiting belief. I became a walking contradiction. And this, as far as my values, just didn't cut it. I had to do something different. But this was really my way of thinking. And I see this across the entire industry. I see a lot of people doing this, a lot of very, very highly trained therapists and coaches that talk in this sense. And I get it. It's an incredible concept. But when I look closely at their life and their business, they're struggling. These are the ones that will book strategy calls with me. And they'll answer the survey, say, I've got no money. I can't get clients. I can't run a business. I need your help, Scott. And I ask them, what's the niche? And they say, well, it's about abundance. I teach people how to live their life and live to their true purpose. But it becomes a big contradiction because you haven't done it yet. And unfortunately, it's not just me saying that. Your clients will recognize this as well. Do you think Anthony Robbins would be as successful as he is now if he was broke? No, absolutely not. He's living the things he talks about. He's living like he's a result of the action he takes. Now, sure, all the gurus, all the mentors, all the experts will say it's all mindset because they're trying to sell you their product. But what I want you to realize, I'll take this into the next screen, of course, as well, is what's happening behind the scenes. And this is something that the lawyers, my clients, and I really can't thank them enough for helping me recognize this. They taught me something incredibly valuable about business. Here's me talking about mindset, abundance blocks, but I'm broke. I'm that walking contradiction. So things had to change. So when I looked at my clients, when I finally realized, hey, I'm doing like 6 hours a day of this mindset stuff, vibration, I'm following all the experts. Why am I not getting anything? Why is nothing happening? So here's me off to the left, broke, unhealthy, depressed, lazy, and in debt. But I was convinced it was all mindset. But when I started to get the occasional client, and lucky enough they were lawyers at the time, I looked at what these people were doing and I had conversations with these lawyers. They didn't know I was broke. They didn't know I was struggling. To them, I was successful because that's the front I was putting on. But I looked closely at these lawyers and they were successful. They had successful businesses. They had the money. They had the houses. They had the holidays. They were happy. They were healthy to an extent, but they smoked. That's why they came and see me. They were motivated. They were taking action. They had control. And the point where I started to talk to them about mindset, abundance, limiting beliefs, they looked at me like I was a crazy person. And I remember talking to these lawyers just about business in general. They broached the subject and asked how business was. And it was the first time that I was extremely honest with myself. It's one of the hardest things I had to do. And I said, I'm struggling. I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to get clients. I'm struggling financially. And lucky enough, these lawyers were nice enough to really analyze what was happening in my business. And they asked me the things. What are your systems? What are your process? What are you doing sales? How are you structuring your prices? Are you doing follow-up? Are you doing email? How are you getting your clients? And this was all foreign to me. And they asked me, what was I doing? And I said, well, I'm just trying to fix my mindset, my abundance, my limiting beliefs. And they're thinking, what are those things? Why aren't you doing all of the other things? And from there, I had the fortunate enough event where I went and looked at their law firms. I went in and looked at their business and they helped me analyze what's happening in their business. And that's when it all changed for me, guys. I saw the things they were doing. They weren't doing the things I was. And I got to talk to other successful clients of theirs. They weren't doing the things I was. They weren't doing the limiting beliefs. They weren't doing the abundance. They weren't doing the vibrational stuff. I got to sit in some of their meetings. They weren't creating vision boards. They weren't praying to the universe. They weren't, doing meditations or anything like that. They were sitting there in these meetings talking about onboarding new clients, KPIs, sales, team meetings, CEOs, managers, hiring help. They were doing all the things that I was ignoring. I knew to some extent, I had this feeling inside of me that sure, I need to do that stuff, but that's not as important as mindset. I know because of the experts that I follow, if I just master the mindset, the limiting beliefs, all the rest will come to me. And I was convinced that that's the way everybody else's business was as well, until I got to talk to these lawyers and see these successful people. They had all the things I wanted. They had all the things I was imagining and fantasizing, but I wasn't doing the things they were doing. So that's when it all switched for me. It all had to change because what I was doing was not working. And then I really started to dig deep into this idea. And I actually gave up on mindset, limiting beliefs. And I ran myself an experiment where I stopped doing that for 30 days and then 60 days and 90 days. I did none of that stuff. But the funniest thing started to happen. I started to do the things that they were doing. I tried to replicate as much as I could from a lawyer business to a therapy business. It's quite different. But I tried to do the things that they were talking about. And I was scared. I was anxious. I was unsure. And I thought I was screwing the whole thing up. But guess what happened? I got clients. I started making money. I started to get happy. I started to sleep better. I started to eat better. I started to achieve and, bring towards me all of the things I needed, but I wasn't doing the things that all the experts told me to do. And then I started to dig deeper and I really understood what this whole industry has become. And unfortunately, the trap that we all fell for, which I did as well. And hopefully you'll see how you may have fallen into this trap yourself. And I'm going to relieve you of that and show you an easy way to do it. So like I said, guys, my clients were successful. I was not. So I was intelligent enough to say, okay, well, if I'm not successful doing it my way, why don't I try and replicate the success of somebody else? Isn't that just modeling and NLP and hypnotherapy? We all talk about these things, but we don't do it for ourselves. So what did I do? I stopped listening to what they as the experts, the Tony Robbins, the Michael Burnoffs, I can't even remember, like the mindset gurus, the Mind Valley people, all of those people, all the way back in the day. I stopped listening to what they were telling me to do because what they were telling me was buy my new course, okay? Raise your vibration, master your mindset, do this, do that, and everything in your life will take care of itself. But I realized that I'm listening to you guys and women and experts and stuff tell me this stuff, but how are you managing to be successful with this stuff when I can't be? I'm following your instructions. So there's something happening here. I'm missing out on something. And what I was missing out on, what was happening behind the scenes, how they were becoming successful from this core idea. The core idea was their product and their service. but how are they selling this service? How are they making money from this product? So I stopped listening to what they were doing and I started to analyze what they were saying. Little lawyer trick there. I looked at what was happening in their business. I looked at how they were getting clients, how they were making money, and I realized something very, very profound. So you've got these courses, and it's not against my value. I've got all of these courses, and I think they're tremendous. It's a great way to feel positive about life, but I realize there's so much more that has to happen if you want to be successful. It can't be just this, because if it was, you guys would need to be watching this video because you'd be too busy with clients. But I fell for the just buy this course, fix your mindset, improve your vibration, and clients come kicking down your door. I was even told by my mentors when I went and got certified and went to events, and they were telling me as long as I had masters in NLP or clinical in this, that's all I'll need, because clients all over the world would know they come kicking down my door because I was the expert. They told me not to niche. They told me to have low prices so I can service everybody. They didn't tell me to do any of the social media. Any of social media was really around at that time, but it wasn't teaching me to do all of the things to get clients. Why? Because they didn't even know themselves. They were teaching because they probably couldn't make it as a therapist or a coach as well. And this was quite profound for me. But the ones that were successful weren't busy following these courses. They were too busy taking the actions each day to get the clients. And this was a massive aha moment for me. And I looked behind the scenes. I stopped listening to what they were telling me. I stopped listening when they were saying, you know, the reason you don't have success or abundance or love in your life is because your vibration's too low. And I started to realize I love the concept, but how can you prove that? How can you track that? How can you make that core idea better? Because there's nothing to track. And I'll talk about the tracking in a moment. So what was happening behind the scenes? How were these big companies and these experts making money? And just like the lawyers, they were doing the same thing. They had their core product, which was buy this course. But I thought, okay, if they're telling me to buy this course, does that mean that's the only thing they're doing? If they're telling me to raise my vibration, is that the only thing they're doing? And I realized that's not the case. It can't be, because I used to be that person only doing that thing. So I looked behind the scenes and I realized I had paid ads, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc., sales teams, KPIs, targets, managers, team leaders, customer care, email marketing, email lists, copywriters, books, downloads, free content, funnels, sales pages, squeeze pages, cross promotions, joint ventures, seminars, events, live courses, online courses, strategy meetings, sales meetings, staff training, scaling, automation system, onboarding system, website subscriptions, and probably another 100 things. And I started to look at what behind the scenes. And it wasn't the mindset that was making them successful. It wasn't the vibration that was making them successful. It was the systems behind the scene that were able to sell that product for it. And that's when things, again, changed for me. I understood what was really happening in the industry, and I understood that what they're telling me is just their product. It's just their service. But I wasn't looking behind the scenes. And I think for a lot of us, we fall for that trap because we love the concept, the idea of the vibrational, the universe. We love that concept. I'm not disclosing it and saying it's wrong. I'm not doing any of that stuff. But what I want to point out is, while we're too busy trying to do that mindset thing and really adore that concept, we're really not seeing, we're ignoring to an extent what's really happening behind the scenes. And it's this stuff behind the scenes that makes these people successful. It's the ads, it's the sales team, it's the managers, it's the emails, the funnels, it's the cross promotion, it's the social media, it's the events, it's the seminars. And this is what they're concentrating on. They're having team meetings. They're not trying to make their mindset better. They're trying to make their sales team better. They're trying to improve the scripts they use for the sales. They're trying to increase their prices. They're trying to get more people to their events. They're trying to get better click-through rates on their Facebook ads. They have data scientists collecting all of this data to make their marketing better. They're doing all of this stuff behind the scenes, but they will tell you point blank, it's just my course. Everything you need is inside my course. And I get it. That's the way they want to make money. But I don't want you guys to be fooled by what's happening in the forefront. Start to look at what's happening behind the scenes. It's something we teach all of our students to do, is stop listening to the experts, see what's happening behind the scenes. What are they doing? If you have a favorite guru, fantastic. But if you're trying to analyze what's happening in their business and you're trying to be like them or be successful like them, how are they getting clients? What are their prices? What are their systems? What are their services? Don't just listen to their product. I mean, how many times have you seen, or how many people can there be out in this world that are mindset experts, that are abundance experts, that are struggling worse than their clients? It's not to say their product is not incredible, because I know it is, and they're a wealth of knowledge, but they're an abundance expert struggling to get clients and make money. That's a big contradiction. And again, it's not that their product is bad. Their product's incredible. but they're ignoring this stuff. And I get it. This is the scary stuff. This is not fun. Doing social media, doing the ads, the sales team, the email marketing, the funnels, that's not the fun stuff. The fun stuff is talking about what we love, being a therapist, being a coach, and sharing with the population these fantastic insights about the mind. But that's not what makes the business. So guys, start looking what's happening behind the scenes. Don't just fall for it's the course. You just need to fix your mindset and the rest will come to you. No, look what's happening behind the scenes, guys, just like I did with those lawyers. So then I started to think, well, I've spent 1 to 2 years doing this. And it wasn't until I was able to look at this objectively and think, wow, this is what I was doing. I was doing like the mindset and abundance blocks for like, let's say 30 days. I had the affirmation of, I want to be a successful business owner. I want to make money. I want this in my life, this in my life, this in my life. And I did the affirmations, the abundance, the vibration. I did all of that. But then I realized that if I'm spending too much time in here, I'm missing out on reality out here. This is where it really counts. Then I started to look at what these experts were saying, and they're telling me to do all of these things. But I started to think, okay, well, if I do this for 30 days, which it didn't work, nothing happened, nothing showed up, how can I make this better? Well, the only way to enhance what I was doing was do more. So now I do 2 hours, still didn't work. How can I enhance it? Well, I can do more, 3 hours, 4 hours, more courses, more books. And I was a wealth of knowledge about this stuff, but there was no way to track what was working and what wasn't working because it's a concept. It's not a reality-based concept. It's an idea, and it's a great idea, but there was no way to enhance it to make it better. Sure, you have experts saying that if you're not getting your abundance, you can include this strategy on top of this strategy and this strategy, and it will make it better. But the results remain the same because the core idea of just using your unconscious mind, I understand that. I get that. But it's just talked about in different contexts where it sounds different, but you're just repeating the same things you already know as a therapist or a coach. But there's nothing to track. You can't track it because a lot of the stuff you can't see coming to you. You can't enhance it other than just doing more of it. But then what was interesting was I was at seminars where these experts were talking about this and people were literally saying, like, I've been following your course, read your book, it hasn't worked. And then all of a sudden these random rules would come out of these experts like, trust, it'll happen. I'm not going to base my entire life based on trust. Now I've got some concept which can't be proven. And now you've got a rule to a concept that can't be proven. Then it was, well, I started to think, well, if I can, imagine my life being successful, why is it taking so long for even one little thing to show up? And then the experts will come back with another rule and say, well, the mind doesn't work like that. There's a limit to how much the mind, and all of this sort of stuff come out. Then you have to be aligned to the goal. I have to be aligned to it. Unconsciously have, feel it in my heart and my emotions. Again, another rule on top of another rule. And then a month later, a new course comes out that says the old way of doing mindset and raising your vibration doesn't work. This is the new way because this is how the unconscious mind works. Now you've got a super conscious mind, all this sort of stuff. And from one core concept, which I know to be true because I was a therapist and I get that, is blown so out of proportion that now you've got all these amorphous rules, these amorphous strategies and system that all end up in the same place. Nothing's working and nothing can be tracked. And the one thing I realized about having a business, just in the context of business, that business requires tracking. It requires you to find out what's working, enhance what's working and double down on those things and ignore the rest. So here was, the conflict I was in. Do more mindset for another 30 days, add all of these things to it and hope that something works and just do more of it, which eventually maybe something will work. Or I could track the result by doing something more conscious. So here I am doing mindset, nothing's working. Or as opposed to like doing a YouTube video, which I can track and enhance. So let's say this, guys, just, humor me right here. Over the next 30 days, do something like this. Forget about the mindset thing just for now. And think of it like this. What's one conscious activity I could do each day to try and get some clients? As example, here's YouTube. I can make one 10-minute video, one 10-minute YouTube video per day. 30 days, that's 30 YouTube videos, niche related. With that video, I can add a call to action, a booking link to my strategy call, a free giveaway. I can enhance the tags, the title, the thumbnail, description, the keywords, and the SEO. So I can consciously create something. Now, what can I track from this? How will I know this YouTube video is working? I can't know if mindset's not working because that big car and all the money is not coming to me, so I can't track and make it better. But I can track the conscious activity. I can look at the views, the watch time, the comments, the likes, the strategy call bookings from certain videos, the ranking of those videos. I can also enhance the videos. I can learn from what's not working And I can look at the videos which did book me calls, which are getting more comments and likes and shares and things like that. And I can double down there. So what did this mean in the long term of it? Well, the more conscious activity I was doing, from getting clients, doing the social media, doing all the things that I saw my lawyers doing, and also what I saw the experts behind the scenes doing, I could track these things and make it better. But in the context of mindset, I couldn't make that better because nothing was working. And the only option I had was to do more of it. I can't do less because less would be ridiculous. If I do more will show up, but it defeated the purpose. So knowing how to track your results, guys, is important. If you've been doing mindset or the vibration of abundance for a long, long time now, and it's not working, what can you track? You can the only thing you can enhance or do better is just do more of it. But how much more can you do? And this was a big thing to get outside of my head and realize, hey, spending all my time doing mindset, but I'm ignoring the things that actually would get me clients. I'm not going to do some mindset, open my eyes, and instantly my whole life's going to change around me. No, I had to take the right action. So instead of my day being consumed with mindset, now my day was consumed by doing the conscious activities. And I got so busy doing the conscious stuff that I was too busy to think about mindset because I was too busy getting clients and making money and being happy. So tracking the results is really, really important. So what does this mean for you guys? If you are caught in those courses or you've been told by your mentors, it's all about mindset, okay? It's all about just changing your vibration or learning to love yourself and all that. And I get the concepts, they're nice. But if it's not turning into paying clients, a successful business, making money, you have to look at this stuff objectively. You've got to step back and think, okay, well, how much more can I do of this? I've been doing this for 30 days. What's happening? Why is it not working? So guys, I want to introduce you what business really is. This is the stuff you're ignoring. We have to have a product. We have to have a niche, a price, MOS, system to onboard new clients, payment options, booking systems, surveys, 15-minute calls, social media. We have to master Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. You have to build your audience. You have to do organic outreach, video content, post content. You got to learn sales, strategy call system, objection handling, close rates, sending out proposal. You may have to get to the point of outsourcing this, hiring a VA, training your VA, tasking your VA meetings, scaling, automation, long-term, short-term strategies, delivery. You might be scaling from one-to-one to group coaching to online programs. You might want to have to track your asymmetry to know what you need to do each day and what to ignore. But when you're so busy, like I said, doing all this stuff, you won't have time to worry about mindset. Mindset will not equal a successful business. Because what happens in here, sure, it might look good and feel good, but it's not going to show up out here because you're ignoring the things, the action you need to take. Finding a niche, a product, a service, booking system, social media, getting clients onboarded. That's what builds a business. You look at any successful business owner, your mentors, look what's been happening behind the scenes, guys. This is my point here. This is what they're doing. They're just selling you a concept, but the concept is not what they're doing themselves. I can guarantee it. This is what they're doing. Do you think Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, when he was working for Amazon, was sitting in team meetings doing vision boards and vibrational energy and stuff like that? No, they're doing this stuff right here. They're trying to enhance their systems. They're making the systems more in tune to the goal. They've got customer care. They're looking at what their customers want. They're trying to increase their top line by reducing their bottom line. They're doing all of these things, but we as therapists and coaches who have never run a business before have just assumed that it's all mindset. We're ignoring the things. We're ignoring the business owner inside of us. We're ignoring being an entrepreneur. We're ignoring the system. We're ignoring all of the things that will get us clients regardless of what's happening inside of our head. So again, to just not discount the mindset or vibrational stuff, but you have to be doing this stuff. Okay, if you're sitting there talking to other therapists and other coaches saying, I'm not getting any clients, and then that therapist or a coach says, well, let's do some more vibrational work, abundance block work, but they're just as broke as you and you guys are both struggling, what is that telling you? You're following the wrong process. If you're not doing any of this stuff, it doesn't matter how good that mindset course is, that mindset work is, it will not equate to paying customers. How could it? If I'm sitting in my office for 4 hours a day inside of here trying to fix this, how can this turn into paid clients out there? My clients are not in my head. They don't know I'm fixing my mindset. How can they see my service if I'm not showing up online? How can they see me as an expert if I'm not creating great content? How can I sell my service if I don't book them in a strategy call? Because I'm too busy doing what's inside of here. And this will not equal this out here. And if you don't believe me, look at how long you've been stuck on that strategy for mindset and vibrational work. Notice nothing's really happening. You might get a couple of cool little things happening here or there, but that's just probably life. Those things were going to happen regardless. But if you're over the next 30 to 60 days are still making no money, even the past 30 days, still haven't got clients, still don't have a niche, still not making money, you have to include this system right here. The mindset stuff can come later, but it'll get to a point where you're so busy, you won't need to worry about that stuff. So my big point is this, guys. The assumptions that I made right at the start of my business were wrong. Okay. And I see this time and time again. As I mentioned before, I speak to thousands of therapists and coaches every single year. And a lot of them are in the abundance, vibrational, helping people live their life, true purpose and all that. But they're a walking contradiction, just like I was. And it's not to discredit what they do. I know they're incredible therapists and coaches. And I hope this message becomes really, really clear to them. You have an incredible product. But if you're just living by this, you're not willing to learn all the other stuff, you are going to struggle. So guys, for lack of better words, this is the new way of thinking that I think you could adopt to some extent, and you'll start to notice more success coming into your life. So instead of worrying about mindset, start thinking in terms of logical business ideas, knowing that every business owner on this planet has to learn to run a business. So what if your thinking was this? If I want a successful business, I need to learn business. It's no longer if I want to have a successful business, I need to clear my abundance blocks. Because if I do the things that are set to get clients by showing up online, doing strategy calls, creating content, organic outreach, social media, the things we have to do to get the attention of my clients, at some point you will have clients. And then the thinking is, how can I get more? And then the last is, I'm going to keep mastering everything business-wise and get better at getting more business. And I'm going to repeat this process. Hands down, as a therapist or a coach, if you've never run a business before, you don't know how to onboard clients, you know nothing about business, prices, niching, all of that sort of stuff, how can you expect to have a functional business? You may understand the mind better than me and better than most people, your average client. You understand the vibrational things, all that sort of stuff. But if that's all you're doing, your clients aren't with you inside your head. They are online though. They're in reality, and it's your job to show up and prove to them that you're an expert. But if you're not doing those things, you can't expect to get paid clients. So if you're not getting clients, look at the things you're not doing. Are you doing that list of things I gave to you before? If not, it's not the mindset. It's because you're not doing those things. So if you want a successful business, you need to learn to become a business owner. You need to learn about business. You need to spend more time social media, business, understanding all the hierarchy and infrastructure of running a business, because when you learn that, you will get clients. Okay, so it's just cause and effect. You will get clients. Then it's your job to become a better business owner. Therapists and coaches have to learn to love business. You have to learn to love everything about business. Otherwise, you will struggle. And this was the shift that I had to make, guys. So don't be like me, guys. Don't get stuck in that mindset that if I want a successful business and make money, I have to fix my abundance blocks and limiting beliefs. Now, why did I believe that? Because the experts told me. But they weren't telling me what they did to get me to that course, or to buy that course from them, or to read their book. They marketed to me. They found a niche. They spoke my language. But they pretty much convinced me that as long as I do their course, that's all they did to get successful. And I fell for that and nothing happened. So don't be like me. If I want a successful business, I have to fix my abundance blocks of limiting beliefs. Sure, I'll feel a little bit better, but I still have no clients. That must mean I've got more blocks to fix. Like I said at the start of the video, guys, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to follow what I'm talking about in this video. But my goal with this video was just to show you a new way of thinking, and hopefully it gave you a couple of aha moments as to what is happening in your business as of today. We are moving quite quickly through 2021. And if your 2021 is starting to replicate what happened in 2020, which was struggling, not getting clients, not making money, it's going to require a big shift. If you're caught in the assumption that my business will be successful if I'm fixing what's happening here, look at what you've done in the past. If it's retrieved no results, you have to start thinking about something new. You have to apply a new system. So that's it from me for today, guys. A little bit different video. If you have any questions like normal, please reach out to me. But guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.